Hello, and welcome everyone. This is the Shine Beyond Cancer Show. This show is designed for anyone who's been diagnosed, currently going through treatment, or is now cancer-free. We know you did not choose to be on this team. We didn't either, but we kicked cancer's ass, and we are here to provide you inspiration, hope, and the tools you desire to manage the confusion and anxiety. We deliver you a remarkably detailed game plan for you to achieve clarity, strength, and purpose, no matter where you are on this journey. We are here to quarterback you through all aspects of your life so that you too shine beyond cancer to live a vibrant, abundant life. However, we are not here to treat, diagnose, or cure any illness or disease. We are making no medical or income claims. Let's get started with the show. Here are your co-hosts. From Wall Street to 9/11 first responder volunteer to wellness warrior and cancer thriver, Mark Slew. And from mom to marketer to master trainer and cancer thriver, Lisa Diamond.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Shine Beyond Cancer's 10th episode. Believe it or not, this is a milestone. 10th episode is a milestone.
We're in double digits.
We're in double digits. Soon triple digits, but right now double digits. Thanks for joining us again. Today's episode, we're going to speak about friendships that bond during your time of one of the worst times of your life, and friendships that, you know what, are gone and you didn't need them to begin with because they didn't stick by you when you were going through it. I'm Mark Slew.
I'm Lisa Diamond. Welcome to Shine Beyond Cancer. So I like this quote, and it goes with what our show is today, is that, you know, people come into our lives for a season, a reason, or for life. And that also applies true when you're going through cancer, and you know, you can't even imagine that you get this diagnosis that everybody isn't just rallying around you. And so tell me we're going to start on the positive side.
Yes, you always start positive.
We're going to start on the positive side, although I consider the whole thing to be positive. Some of it was easier to deal with than others.
It's like a bless and release, right? I mean,
correct.
That's what we both learned, and that's coaching we both went through, is the people that didn't want to stick with us, go on with your life, thank you, and you know, you're better off, we're better off, and it's okay. It's okay. It's the way it should have been, and it's the way it is. So I have an amazing family. I mean, my cousins growing up and through my whole life have been like my best friends. I have 4 or 5 very good friends from high school and college, but my family and my friends that I knew from when I was a kid, we all grew up in the same neighborhood in Brooklyn, so everybody knew each other. So my friends were like family, my family was like friends. So for me, I had a very good support staff going through it. My family was there, my cousins were there in the hospital all the time, my friends, one lived in Connecticut, 2 lived in New Jersey, they were there as much as they could. And one of my best friends that I met in my life, in my coaching venture that I went through in 2010, right before I got diagnosed, my rock through the whole thing, Fran, was there. She lives in Manhattan, and I was in the hospital in Manhattan, and she was there all the time. And we spoke multiple times a day, and she was it for me. And that's like something that I would say to you guys is, yeah, you have friends, you have family, everything, but the one rock that you could call no matter what, no matter when, no matter who, no matter who's bothering you, no matter what's going through you. Fran didn't go through any cancer situations, thank God, but she is a therapist, she's a coach, she was, like I said, she was everything for me. So that's definitely a positive for me, that my relationships with all my friends and family, not all, a lot of them, grew and glued together from the whole diagnosis.
Right. And I would say for me, there was definitely a core group of people, and you know, those people are still with me, and you know, loved me on the good days and left me on the bad days. and I wasn't so easy necessarily to get along with on some days. And
Really?
and so, you know, because whenever something else would come up, right, or it's one more test or one more this, and you know, I just had like series after series after series. Like I thought I'd gotten to like, okay, this is it, I got it, I can handle this, and then there'd be one more thing, and it always took me about 24 hours to wrap my head around it. And you know, so that core group of people learned quickly to just like give me that 24 hours. But you know, I mean, you've met Louise and Molly, and you know, they knew what to say, when to say it, when to not to say anything at all.
Molly's a therapist as
And
well, right?
yeah, Molly's a psychologist, so it helps when you have a best friend that's a psychologist. And you know, when it was time to like shine a light on, you know, some other positive aspect that was going on in my life as opposed to focusing on the cancer. And then I had people, I don't know if you've experienced this as well, I had people that had kind of just come into my life like right before I got diagnosed. You know how people are always coming in and out of your life, right? Some people come and stay, and some people will come and go quickly. And I was just blown away by, you know, a couple of these people, and one is Nikki. Nikki, if you were watching, her and I had just met like right before I got diagnosed. She's a nurse. She lives in Michigan, and honestly, we maybe had known each other less than a month. And she flew down for my second chemo, and like that just like blew me away. I mean, you know, yeah, it's my friends that were here. You know, would pop into chemo treatments and that kind of stuff to keep me company and really just kind of like create havoc in the chemo room because that's what we did.
Yeah, you guys know being in the chemo room is just no fun and depressing looking around. You count your blessing. Well, I counted my blessings as well. When I was in the chemo room and I looked around and I was like, holy crap, my attitude's better. I got to keep my headspace in the right space, because I don't want to be miserable like him or miserable like her. It was very depressing.
Yeah. And then, so one of my best friend days when I was going through treatment was the day I shaved my head. I started losing my hair after my second chemo, and my hair was this long. And so I threw a party. I called it a no hair affair, and asked everybody to bring baseball caps and scarves or bandanas or whatever they wanted. And so it was a party, and it got to a point like, okay, we were here for a reason, and it was like, you know, I couldn't not do it at that point, right?
Yeah, but the cool thing, you tell me that, how many people?
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, well, I guess we got to get this started. And one of my friends stepped up and he said, I'm going first. And I was like,
that's amazing,
what?
Isn't it? That's crazy.
He's like, I'm going first. And right after him, somebody else went. And right after him, somebody else went.
I love that.
And there were a total of 7 people that day that shaved their heads before I did.
That's crazy.
And I
have
have goosebumps. It was honestly, it was such an amazing day of just pure unconditional love and support. And one of the big things that it gave me was it really gave a gift to my daughters, because they were there, but for them to see, you know what, my mom has all these people around her, she's going to be okay.
She has a community behind her that's
Yeah.
going to help her. Yep.
And
Plus, one of your daughters was in college, right? Far away at that point, right?
she had not gone back
She
to
was
school
going,
yet.
okay.
She was just getting ready to go back to
Right.
college. And, you know, forever, I will never forget that day as long as I live. You guys all know who you are. You know, some of them to shave their heads was a pretty big deal.
Crazy.
so that, you know, so you're gonna have those people in your life. And
I got
you know,
an idea. I don't mean to cut you off, but how about in the comments, tell us what happened the day you shaved your head?
Oh yeah.
Because I wouldn't say everybody going through cancer does it. I did it. My story, real short, not to cut you off. My daughter at the time was one of my daughters, DJ, was in college playing Division I softball for Hofstra University in Long Island, and they made the NCAA tournament, and they were on TV on ESPN, and I couldn't go. I was so sick, I couldn't go. So I was sitting in front of the TV watching it, and she came up in a crucial situation, and I was like this. I was rubbing my head like this, just like a nervous rubbing, and I'm like this, and I looked down, and there was hair everywhere. Well, I didn't really know that I was losing my hair, but I was rubbing it, and it was everywhere, and I was like, oh crap, here it comes. So that's the day that I'll never forget that day. Like,
Right.
we'll never forget that.
Yeah.
But put in the comments the day you shaved your head, or you knew the day had to come when you needed to shave your head.
Yeah. And so I totally just lost my train of thought because you interrupted
I'm
me.
sorry.
But that's okay. It'll come
I
back.
thought I would add to the conversation.
I know, it does add to the conversation. It'll come back. Where was I going with it?
Your friends, your daughter was not going back to school yet. They saw
Yeah,
the community.
so the community. So I would say, you know, when we're going through the treatment and the diagnosis, we tend to get, rightfully so, a little self-absorbed, and you know, it's really hard for people on the other side of it to know what to say, because they don't. They haven't.
Absolutely.
They haven't
Especially
been there.
if they haven't been there.
And you know, it's one of the reasons why we're here today doing what we're doing, because you have somebody now that knows what you're doing, you know, knows where you're going and what you've been through. And so, you know, you kind of have to cut some of those people some slack a little bit, like they don't get it. And you and I have had this conversation. You say to Danielle all the time, you don't get it. You know,
I mean, I'm 6 years cancer free, and there are times where the whole thing comes up where I've changed. I mean, whoever's cancer free, you've changed some personality traits.
Absolutely.
And things have changed in your thinking and the way what things matter and what things don't. And still, not often, but still, sometimes I have to say to Danielle, you just don't get where I'm coming from, that this doesn't matter to me right now. It doesn't matter anymore. It's not important. What's important is I'm healthy, you're healthy, the kids are healthy, and we're living in where we want to live. That's what's important right now.
right.
So it's not all the time, but there are certain times where it still comes up.
Yeah. So I don't know if you and I mean, I know you know what I'm going to talk about next,
Go ahead.
because but I want to hear if you've had that same experience. So you may or you may not everybody's situation is different, but you may have an experience where you just can't be around certain people anymore. They maybe were your closest friends, or maybe they can't be around you anymore, and you know, multiple different reasons why, and that's kind of the bless and release. But I'm going to share my story.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of those situations. I had maybe one or two, but for me it was more of, like you were saying before, like fleeting people that you just met. Because when I was going through my treatments, I was volunteering as a coach in our personal development training. So I met a lot of people through the whole training, and a lot of people were sympathetic to me in the beginning, and you know, we'll keep in touch, I'll keep in touch, blah blah blah. But I never hear from those people ever, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
But life happens,
Yeah.
and there was a reason why they were in your life at that moment.
at that point, yeah, absolutely.
It helped you with either something you needed to see,
No
or
doubt
a
about
lesson, or whatever that was.
But I don't have this. I mean, we've talked about it. And,
Yeah,
you know.
so I had the experience of 3 of my very closest friends are literally no longer in my life, and it's sad to me in some respects, because you know, we have amazing memories and lots of fun and lots of love, and you know, I'm not angry about it. I wasn't even angry about it at that time either. The one thing I did notice about the whole situation is that I have a friend type. I have a personality type
that you attract.
That I
Okay.
attract.
Okay.
So, one, I'm an enabler and an empath. Like, I deeply feel for people. I can feel what they're going through, and so we're very good at attracting narcissists. And if you've ever had the experience with one, and there's different levels of narcissism, but basically narcissism is, it's all about me.
Right.
And what I gathered from all three of these people was the moment that it became all about me, and that I had to focus on myself, and that I had to give to myself, and that I had to make decisions that maybe everyone else didn't think was the best decision to make, or it wasn't the popular decision. They didn't know how to be around me anymore. And
Bless and release.
And it was, I mean, like, literally two of them, like, without a word, just never saw them again, never took my call again. Like, and then finally, after a month of like texting, like, what the heck, trying to call, what the heck,
Game over.
it was like, okay, all right. And then, the third one, ended not so well. It was almost kind of a sabotaging type of relationship. And then I was the one that had to say, you know what, like, I really can't have you around in my life anymore. But, love the people that are supporting you and that are there for you, and and know that Nikki flew down here for me for chemo treatment. We stay in touch, but we're not on the phone every day. But I'll forever be grateful, and I'll
Right.
never forget what all of those people did. I had a client. She was a client at the time. She's now a dear friend, and a couple of those happened because I was just starting my personal training business, and building that business when I got diagnosed, like 4 months later. And so these were people that I didn't know. They were new clients to me. Same thing. They would show up with, a green smoothie at my chemo treatment, and it's amazing. And
So you need
when
to
we finish the
cherish.
book, I'm making a list. I'm going to make a list
dedications?
of all those dedications. So
We need a couple more pages
Yeah.
for that. So what we're trying to say is cherish the people that you have close to you if you're going through it right now and are on your team, and like, just they're there for you no matter what happens. And people, like Lisa said, can't handle the situation that you're in because it's not about them, then just it's not worth the energy to try to make that friendship work. If those people are not there for you, you have other things to worry about. You have other things to go through. You have a lot of things going through your brain, a lot of things going through your body. That's something you do not need to focus on.
Right.
If it is worth it, then I would say fight for it. If you fight for it long enough and it's not worth it at that point, then it's not good for your psyche. It's not good for your body. It's not good physically or mentally for you. But the people that are there for you will be there for you through this and forever. Because if they're there now, there's nothing really much worse that could happen that these people are going to leave you for. So, we cherish the family and friends we have that stuck with us, and I do every day. I mean, count your blessings that you have these people in your life.
Absolutely.
And we just want to thank you again for being on our show. And next episode is going to be which one? What are we thinking about?
Next episode, we're going to talk about spirituality, and don't let that scare you. It's not about religion. It's not about religion for me anyway.
Me neither. Not about religion.
But it's about you kind of come really in contact with your soul, with who you really are. You find out who you really are when you're going through cancer, and and maybe you did make some deals with God. Maybe you were angry. Maybe
It's all
maybe
okay.
yeah,
It's all
I mean, that it's okay. Everybody's journey is
Right.
different. But we're going to talk about, Mark and I are going to talk about what our view of that was.
It might be different than yours. It might be the same. You know, like I said, we want to learn from you guys. So if there's anything that we talk about on any show that you agree with, disagree with, or want to discuss, we're open to anything.
Yeah. So next show is spirituality, and until then,
Keep shining.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Shine Beyond Cancer Show, the #1 cancer survival guide show for people wanting to kick cancer's ass and take their life to the next level. Be sure to visit our Facebook group, Shine Beyond Cancer, or head over to shinebeyondcancer.com to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content. Until next time, keep shining.